24 hours starts in Manchester today. I have been here several times for work, but I've never really done the touristy things. So I'm gonna go to John Rylands Library and a few other places along the way and take you with me and show you what Manchester has to offer for 24 hours. I am staying in Kimpton Clock Tower Hotel and it's absolutely stunning. The bed was so comfortable and like everywhere you walk is just beautiful. They had someone filming there the other day, and if you have the money to stay here, I definitely recommend it. It's on the pricier end, but it's totally worth it. It's the best night's sleep I've had this whole trip. Starting off at Federal Cafe is an Antipodean cafe, so I'm really looking forward to some Australian treats. When I arrived, I was so lucky to get a table when I walked in. Normally there are queues to eat at Fed. The cafe was opened by Claudio and Emily for those who are passionate about great coffee and amazing brunch. They serve coffee from Ozone and they also ensure that the avocados are perfectly ripe for that millennial breakfast. You know that joke where we can't afford houses because we eat too many avocados on toast? Well, yeah. I thought I ordered a flat white, but actually I ordered an espresso martini and avo on toast with a touch of halloumi on the toast, which was just, oh, so good. I can't believe I've never been to John Rylands Library, especially when it was around the corner from my old office. It is a must when you're visiting Manchester. It is one of the most beautiful libraries I've ever been to, and all the reviews I read before visiting is that it's a real life Harry Potter library, and I couldn't agree more. Imagine stepping into a beautiful neo-Gothic building filled with books, reading rooms with beautiful stained glass windows and intricate ceilings. Well, that is John Rylands Library. The library holds some of the rarest and most beautiful books in Britain, like the first edition of Dickens' novel still in the original wrappers and a first edition of Shakespeare's sonnets. Best of all, it's free and a working library, so you can actually read some of the books that are on the shelves. Or just bring your own book and chill in the magnificent reading rooms. A short walk away, I headed to the Central Library, and I have to say, even with the £50 million renovation, it's just nowhere as impressive as the John Rylands Library. It does look really impressive when you see the building from St. Peter's Square, but the space you really want to see is Wolfson's reading room, which was closed, so I couldn't go inside. I just like peeped in the window and was like, oh, isn't that beautiful? It's a huge dome roof and it just has some wonderful architecture. In the entrance hallway is one of the bee statues created as a part of Bee in the Cities. Bees have become the symbol of Manchester, and in 1840s they even added it into the Manchester coat of arms. You'll see little signs of bees around Manchester, so keep an eye out. Whether it's on some of the street art or as a symbol on the bins, you'll find like little signs of them everywhere. This is when I should have googled whether this was open. The town hall is such a beautiful building in Manchester, but it's currently undergoing refurbishment. This should reopen in 2024, but at the moment it is just covered in scaffolding. So this is what it would normally look like. The town hall is designed by Alfred Waterhouse, who also designed London's Natural History Museum. So you know it's going to be a beautiful building, but you'll just have to come back in 2024 to see this. Once it's restored, you can see the majestic staircase and the beautiful mayor's parlour and the stunning clock tower. I love beautiful architecture, so I swung by Barton Arcade. It is a Grade 2 listed Victorian arcade set between Deansgate and St Anne's Square. It was built in 1871 and it has been restored to its original grandeur with its ornate black and gold balconies and curving windows. Inside you'll find shops and cafes and barbers and various other places, and sometimes they will hold pop-up events here. Inside was Pot Kettle Black, and it's owned by rugby league players John Wilkins and Mark Flanagan. They have an extensive menu that covers healthy breakfasts like coconut, porridge, or you could go something a bit more indulgent and try their Manchester tart French toast or chorizo and scrambled egg tacos. As much as the food was so tempting, lunch plans were already later in the day, so I just sat and enjoyed another flat white for the day. Actually, this was my first flat white for the day because I drank the espresso martini earlier. Yeah, holiday brain. The coffee was amazing, so I recommend for a caffeine pick-me-up here. Heading over to the Northern Quarter, this is where I spent my whole afternoon and evening. The Northern Quarter is a popular destination for culture and creativity. Here you'll find countless independent fashion stores like Alfex Palace, and you can see some record shops or explore the cafe and restaurant scene here. It's also where a lot of the microbreweries have tap rooms, so I went to explore some of the craft beer too. Literally, like almost every place I wanted to eat in Manchester was in the Northern Quarter. Talking about food, it's time for lunch, and Nell's Pizza is where I went. The dough is slowly fermented for over 36 hours to allow for the perfect combination of strength and lightness. I went for cheese and onion pie, which is a northern classic on a pizza. It comes with burnt onions, mozzarella, Lancashire cheese, chives, and parmesan. It was like a cheese and onion pie in a pizza. It was quite unique. Afterwards, just had like a little stroll around to explore some of the latest street art. I recommend going to Stevenson Square and Spear Street, where the pieces are constantly being replaced with new ones, making it a unique experience for anyone that loves street art. Then looking at what to do next, I discovered on maps Mickey and Mayors. It's on the edge of the Northern Quarter, and it is a food hall in an 1858 Grade 2 listed market building. You wouldn't know it was there from the street. They have no advertising or anything like that. So yeah, I kind of just like stumbled in and was like, is this it? And it was. It's the perfect spot for brunch, lunch, dinner, or a few drinks. And they have quite a few vendors here. So be prepared. You've got pizza from Honest Crust, Fin Fish Bar, Wolf House Coffee, National 7, Tender Cow, Bayo House, Little Window, Jack in the Box, and Reserve Wines. And Jack in the Box is a fantastic place to pick up some beer. It's from Blackjack Brewery, and I've honestly tried a lot of beers in my lifetime, and these really wowed me. They have a huge selection, so it was hard to pass up an evening just sitting here and drinking through their range. They have been brewing in Manchester since 2012, and their foundation beer is all cask, so they produce over 50% of their beer as cask, and they explain that this is in their DNA. So do expect some good quality cask beer from them, but if that's not your cup of tea, then they do have keg beer as well. Seeing more of the craft beer scene, I stopped by Beatnik's Republic Bar for a quick drink before heading to dinner with some friends. They have 14 keg beers and 4 cask lines, and half is dedicated to their own and half is dedicated to guest beers. Can't continue drinking without eating some dinner. Around the corner is Bab. It is an independent restaurant with unique dishes from the Mediterranean. Their Babs are so good. They have this open theatre kitchen, so you can see them making it in front of you. I ordered the chickpea and halloumi kebab, and it was so good. If you want a cheaper meal than the previous night, I went to Wolf at the Door, and they do tasty tacos for £1. Yes, I said £1. Not sure if they can even afford to feed us food at this cost, but they somehow do it. And don't forget their Bayo buns. You do have to order a drink, so you know, don't take the mickey of the £1 tacos. Afterwards, I just spent the rest of the evening drinking at craft beer spots, so I won't go into that, but Manchester has a lot to offer for 24 hours, and this is just a brief window into my personal selection of what the city has to offer. For more ideas on where to go in England, here's a list of day trips I recommend taking from London.